How many of you played youth sports growing up? Pretty much all of you. There might be a few that didn't. And then my next question, I'm going to ask you, how many of you feel that through participation in these youth sports, you've become a better young adult? Any of you? A few of you. Some of you may not notice it as much, but participation in youth and recreational sports has always been a positive factor in maturing our youth in society. Youth sports build character, and they help a child discover his or her self-esteem and self-confidence. And they teach kids how to deal with adversity and being in a tough situation. So if you've got 10 seconds left in a basketball game and the score's tied and you're the one called to shoot the game-winning shot, or if you miss, or if you're down, you could lose the game or you can win the game for them. That's a pretty tough situation to be in. If any of you have experienced that before, I'm sure some of you have. Participation in youth sports benefits a young individual's character in a positive way. Kids who participate in youth sports learn the values of building character. This causes the child to be more mature in early adulthood. And I personally learned how to deal with negative people, and I've learned how important it is to stay positive, and I give a lot of credit to that to youth sports. Kids who participate in youth sports how to deal with adversity and be in the tough situations better. If a kid loses a game, it is important for them not to get down themselves and to stay positive and train harder to win the next game. Kids who participate in youth sports also learn how to build up their self-confidence and self-esteem. Building these things up can be very difficult to teach a young child, but it's important for a coach and a mentor to stay on them and keep encouraging them so they can do that. And then it's important through youth sports. It builds up the individual's attitude, and it helps them be like best teammates and best classmates they can be in the classroom. I give a lot of credit to youth sports for making me the person I am today. I've made some great friends from my youth years in sports, and some of these friends I'm still best friends with today. Some of you are in this room. Youth sports force you to learn responsibility at a very young age. My mom would always make me get my gear ready for practicing games, and then one time, I think it was back in the 3rd grade, I forgot my game pants at a football game, so I had to stand there all game. And then after the game, my dad made me run until I puked, actually. And ever since that, I haven't forgot anything. Youth sports also builds bonds with your coaches and teammates that will last a very long time, and I don't think anything can break that. And through youth sports, there's so many memories that can be made as well. Good or bad memories, sports will always be a great thing to learn from. And some of my best and worst memories are from youth sports. My family is very close, and I give a lot of that credit to the youth sports. And I've jumped, for an example, I've jumped into my dad's arms after we won a big Pee Wee football game, and then this past Friday, I came off the field crying and gave my dad a big hug after my last high school football game. It all goes by very fast. I wouldn't change one thing about my decisions to play recreational sports growing up. We need to continue to promote youth sports to our kids. It is very important in our children's health, mental and physical growth. And youth sports help build up a child's character, self-esteem, self-confidence, and teaches kids how to deal with adversity and being in tough situations. It may be necessary to award children with a pizza party and maybe a trophy at the end of this long season. And it's important to remember the main reason to play a sport, and I feel that is just to have fun while you're doing it. And some of the critics to this topic say that youth sports puts kids through too much and it's too hard on them mentally and physically. But I just feel like it just helps with everything, every aspect of maturing and being a better person.
Do you think if you didn't participate in youth sports, would you be a different person?
feel like, some people experience that and they're fine, but for me personally, I feel like if I didn't, I'd be totally different. Like I wouldn't really, I've learned so much through the years in sports, just how to mature and just be like, it's a well-rounded person, just learn a lot of things. Okay.
Are there like statistics that kids that have played sports have like are more successful later in life?
Not really that I've found, but I know like from personal experiences, like the people I associate myself with, they're all pretty well-rounded individuals, and I've noticed they're pretty good people.
Do you think participation trophies are affecting students very much?
They're what?
Do you think participation trophies?
Like positively or negatively?
Yeah.
I feel if you give children like a lot of them, they'll kind of feel entitled to things later on in their life. But I mean, a few of them every once in a while, it don't hurt anything. I feel like, and like a pizza party, like I mentioned, like that's fun, a good social time for the kids.
How big of a movement is there for or against these trophies?
The trophies. It's real recent. Like James Harrison, I mentioned in my speech before, but it's about 50-50, honestly, on who wants them, who wants to get rid of them. But I'm kind of on the side of getting rid of them. But also, I think, like I mentioned, a few every once in a while is okay.
Do you think nowadays that there are coaches that expect too much out of the kids, and this might push some kids away from playing sports?
Yeah, I do, and especially like in youth sports, it's not as bad. But once you hit like high school, that's a big transition. And I've noticed like our freshman year, we had about 24 kids on our freshman team, and now senior year football, we have about 8 or 9. So that transition from like elementary to middle school and then high school, I think high school coaches really put a lot on their kids, and the kids aren't really taught that in youth sports.
Kind of a follow-up to Brandon's question. You talked there at the end about some negative impacts of the critics of youth sports. What are some of those negative impacts that students, I mean, you obviously had a positive experience. Can you highlight anything that students have been affected with negatively?
Like not a lot of coaches, but some coaches, I feel like kind of just, I don't know if it's how they are, but they just try to get in their kids' heads and they just try to put way too much on them. And kind of I've experienced it, and I just feel like some coaches just like mentally just abuse their players, and that's not good at all to do. But that's the big one.